Hello and welcome to the Animation Industry Podcast. My name is Terry, and there wasn't an episode last week, which you might have noticed because seven guests canceled or rescheduled on me, something that hasn't happened in the 5 years that I've been running this podcast. But here we are with another episode, and I've got a bunch more people lined up now, so I don't foresee this happening again. It was just a weird blip. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Caleb, Marie, Noah, and Alexi, who all signed up for my Patreon this week, pretty much out of the blue. I was super surprised, and thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I've been mentioning that I have a Patreon for a while now, but recently I've decided to become a little bit more serious about it because this podcast does rack up quite a few expenses that are all out of pocket for me, including, monthly hosting fees, Zoom fees, music rights, etc., plus a lot of my time to run. So I've decided to make a goal of reaching 50 supporters on my Patreon by the end of this year, which will cover the monthly expenses of running this podcast, something I've been doing for the past 5 years, almost every week. So if you feel compelled, I would absolutely greatly, super duper appreciate it if you considered becoming a supporter. The link to the Patreon is in the description of this chat, so please go check that out. This week, I'm chatting with Tomas Barrenechea, a CG animator from Argentina who is known online for nothing to do with CG animation. Instead, he's actually not known because he doesn't publish any of his information or his name, and I had to do some sleuthing to find out who he was. But he's known online for a fun claymation character he's created named Tomba, who is a red blob with 2 eyes and a mouth who started popping up on my Instagram feed a few years ago. And if you're on the lookout for stop motion yourself, you've more than likely come across this cute little red guy. So in our chat, Tomas is going to share why he created this character out of seemingly nowhere, learn the ins and outs of stop motion in his spare time when he does CG animation in his day job, built a tiny studio in his home, and how he steadily gained an online following on Twitter and Instagram, and also used Tomba to make money on NFTs. So without further ado, let's jump in. Hi, Tomas. How are you doing today?
Hello, Terry. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been following your work for quite some time on Instagram, and you are quite anonymous online. So I had a little bit of trouble figuring out who you are. But here you are making all these amazing animations from Argentina. And English isn't even your first language, so I'm super impressed that we're talking today. So thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to pick your brain.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. And yes, as you said before, I'm from Argentina. So sorry about my speaking. I will try to do my best.
Cool. And also, I love that you've got your little character in the background of the video. It's great. And you got dragon frame, you got your light boxes, you got I think I have that exact same light from Amazon, I think. Okay,
Yes,
well,
cool.
so I've been following your little red dude with the 2 bubbly eyes, and he does like all these little antics. He's got like a fly nemesis that seems to be in a bunch of them. Can you tell me how this all started for you? How did you get into stop motion and then start posting tons of little videos with this guy? Where did that begin?
Well, like I said you before, I'm a 3D character animator. So I studied animation like 10 years ago. So all the bases and all the principles of animation, I had it before, but I never do stop motion. So because the pandemic and all this lockdown, I say why if I use this time that we like have a lot of free time to start learning some motion. That was a thing that I really wanted to do. So I started taking a course of Can Club, that is a stop motion studio here in Argentina. With that, and with a lot of like YouTube videos and a lot of Googling, I started to learn and to start like digging in this. first, of course, I start with the typical like bouncing ball and all the stuff to start learning how to use the camera, dragon frame, like setting up the set because I'm from computers, so these all like handmade things are all new for me, and that's why another thing I really wanted to start like doing stop motion, like to get out a little bit from the computer, like start like touching more the animation instead of like leaving sometimes that the computer do the work. So here in like stop motion, you like you are like yeah, you do all because there is no computer to assist you. So that's another thing I really love about stop motion. And well, I started doing like bouncing balls, and once I like get used to, uh, one day I don't know why I put two eyes, little eyes in this red ball. Well, sorry. Another funny fact about this is because we were in pandemic and lockdown, the only like, color of clay I had was red and no more. And I don't know there, but here in Argentina, you couldn't like get out of your house only like for supermarket or something like that. So we don't have too much like time or things to grab. So, well, I only have red clay, so that's why Tomba is red. It's not because I want it, but well, that's because the color. And well, once I started like playing and playing, I decided, well, what if I also added legs and then arms, and what if I do expressions and I do all these like faces
Yeah.
with all the mouths and all the shapes of the A's and all that stuff. Um, and well, that's how Tomba was born.
What an interesting story. While most people during the pandemic were getting into like baking bread as a hobby, you're like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna invest hundreds of dollars in stop motion equipment, take a course. And this was with the goal of just having a hobby, like because you've put Tomba on like Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and et cetera, and you keep doing it. Like you regularly post, which I think is amazing. So is it just a hobby or is it something you want to turn into something bigger? Do you want to work at Can Club Studio? Like, do you want to become a stop motion animator or is this purely a hobby?
It's a really good question because uh, at first was only a hobby and also not a hobby, but just more like I wanted to learn this new
Yeah.
technique. So once I like learned and I like be more comfortable doing this, I say, well, maybe I can like start working about it or work or have some job. But then I say maybe if I started doing like a work, like it, like how do you say it? Like uh, lose like the creativity,
Yeah.
like so I think no, why I don't know if I say, but I'm a 3D character animator. I'm working in video games, so that's like my real job and what I do for living. And I live this like real the stop motion like a real hobby. Of course, like trying to continue improving and continue uploading videos and all that stuff. But I think for now, I will leave it like a hobby and again continue improving and brushing up my skills.
So, I mean, that's amazing. So, stop motion takes a lot of work. You gotta set up the lights, set up the camera, craft a thing, create a story, animate it, bring it into post, edit it. What motivates you to keep, if this is a hobby, what motivates you to make the next one? Like how like, and each one is like a completely different idea too. Like, so what gets you excited about like, all right, I just posted one, let's do another one.
Yes, yes, it's a good one. Well, sometimes, as you say, sometimes like I don't have too much energy to do it because I work like 8 hours with the computer, and then I have to like go grab all the stuff and start like modeling and animating. But as I said you before, I use it more like a therapy, like to get out from the computer and
Hmm.
start doing another thing that is more tangible, how to say,
Tangible,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
tangible. Um, but well, yes, of course, are days that there are days that I don't want it or I'm more like without energy. But once I turn on the camera and I have the idea on my head, like it fluids like super, uh,
Nice, nice.
right?
I mean, your
And
animations are super fluid and bouncy and fun. It's, I'm assuming it's a lot different than what you're animating as your day job.
yes, sure. But I used to use some things or techniques that I use in like in video games because if you notice, all my videos are like simple. Like is the character, no too much background,
Yeah,
one two lights, one prop maybe, or even no prop. So like I focus on the animation and on the expressions and the idea more than the perfect modeling or perfect background and perfect lights. So because I'm an animator, I try to put all my skills there in the animation part and not in the modeling. And again, Tomba is super simple. It's two legs and two
yeah,
eyes. Like
yeah.
it's not too complex. But I think that the funny or the engagement with the people is like expressions, the ideas, the gags. Um, in not all, but in almost all the video, if you notice, is like appears Tomba. It's like the presentation of Tomba. I'm here. I'm doing something, or hello, I'm here. Then something happens, or takes some prop, or something happened to him, and he tried to resolve it, or not. And then a final gag that is almost always like funny or Tomba like die or bumps his head or something like that. So like the funny guy. But like it's an all in 5 or 10 seconds, like not too much, like do it quickly and but well, I try to put all these in 10 seconds. Like,
Nice. Yeah. I'm also wondering because like I have tried 3D animation and I find it frustrating because I just want to move it with my hands.
yes.
But so I always go back to stop motion because I can do that. Do you have you found any like advantages in being a stop motion animator translating back to 3D animation or vice versa? Has it made some things easier for you conceptually, like when you're thinking about 3D animation or whatnot?
Yes. Yes. Maybe that sometimes in 3D you want, as you say, like, well, I want to put this here. So why I can't? Because the computer does something else. But the other way, or on the other hand, sometimes I bring some things of the stop motion into the 3D because sometimes because the computers helps you a lot, not a lot, but in some cases helps you. Um, I try to, I don't know, in stop motion, for example, like you make a pose and you like leave it there some frames to people can like interpretate or something like that, and then I change to another like all like that like strange poses to define like key poses. I sometimes I try to put it in 3D because sometimes 3D is so fluid that there is no like a key pose. It's more like a lot of poses, but not a key pose. So sometimes I try to yes to put that like importance of the key pose in the 3D.
Interesting. Nice. before, I have more to talk about with Tomba, but I'm just wondering, with your 3D animation job, how big is the 3D video game industry in Argentina? Because I don't know too much about it at all. And you said you studied 10 years ago and you've been working in video games and 3D animation since. So can you just maybe give an overview of what the 3D video game industry is like in Argentina?
Yeah, sure. First, I started 10 years ago, but of course I started with commercials.
Yeah.
Then I jump into video games. But yes, I think I'm here like, yeah, 6 or 7 years in the video game industry. And yes, like a particular thing about this is that in Argentina is there not exist like video games came from. Yes, but all the video games we like develop for outside, like not for here. So, um, but 2 years ago, I worked in Nimble Giant. That is one of the best like studios, video game studio here in Argentina. But again, they develop for outside, like not from here. So we don't have like an Argentinian game because or a studio because we develop all for outside. And also right now in the studio that I am, well, again, it's a studio that is for worldwide, like people from all over the country, the world, and there are Argentinians, Brazilians, Canadians, from all the world. So
Is it all online?
yes,
Nice, nice.
yes,
So
yes.
I guess, are there a lot of animators, 3D animators in Argentina then? Like how robust, how big and maybe stable would you say the industry is there if somebody's thinking about getting into 3D animation in Argentina?
Yes, uh, as I said you before, you can like there are a lot of studios here in Argentina that they almost all do more for commercials and
Yeah.
maybe TV series, uh, but a lot of all other stuff like they outsourcing, so they develop for other countries. So maybe you could like get a job here in Argentina because there are a lot, but you are going to work for others, not for us for here in Argentina. But yes, there is a lot of work.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, interesting. Back to Tomba. I'm wondering, what is, so you post on social media a lot and you have quite a few followers. You have, you know, uh, tons of followers on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, et cetera, thousands of people. Is that part of a goal of yours is to build a social media following, or are you just posting and letting, whoever follow you find you? Are you like actively trying to get more followers?
I don't know. It's my goal, but of course, I like when the
Yeah.
followers increase and the connection and this like community that maybe when I post a video, people like react and say, "Oh, I like it," and that like chat with the people. I like it, of course. I'm not going to say no, but if I say like it's my goal to be like influencer, no, no, of course not. Uh, I like to do stop motion, and again, I'm learning. I'm still improving. So if the followers came, like good.
So then let me ask you about NFTs because I know that you have made quite a few of your 5 to 10 second shorts into NFTs, and then people have actually traded them, which is super interesting. So what was the goal to do that, to turn them into NFTs?
Well, again, we were in pandemic, so the
Yeah.
pandemic, I learned a lot in the pandemic. So, and again, was like, what is this? I wanted to see what is this world because it's a really strange or maybe not too known world. And first, I like start doing it to like I don't know do it. I don't know, like to try it. And then I say, okay, some people like my work and started buying it. So I say,
How
why
did they
I
how did they find you in the first place? Like if you just uploaded, like how is anybody, the NFT market is like there's millions and millions of things on there now. How did somebody
yes.
find your NFTs?
Well, that's a really good question because first of all, the, the almost all the people that are in NFTs are on Twitter, not on Instagram. Of course, they are on Instagram also, but the huge people there are on Twitter. So I have to start a Twitter because I didn't have it, and start like building my community, like starting only posting videos behind the scenes, like uh, let others know me. Say I'm Tomba. I'm a stop motion animator. I'm do this. I'm like this, and like there I start this community, but up to there I have not any sale, like because as you say, you have to like get known before.
Yeah,
Like why I go and buy you a piece if you are nobody? Like
yeah,
why? So you have to again build that uh, character. Like I'm this, I do this, I'm going to stay here because I like art and all this like stuff. So once I have like more followers and people who loves my work and all that, there I start like my first sales. But up
yeah.
to then, no, I don't. So
How
it's
because you have over 3,000 followers on Twitter now, just for Tomba. Do you remember how many followers you had when you got your first sale? I'm just wondering, like, if I get into NFTs, like, I don't know, I think I have like 200 followers on Twitter, and I don't think anybody will buy it. But like, if I'm actively doing it, was there a threshold? Like, once you reach 2,000 followers, like one person was interested or something?
it's a complex like question
Yeah.
because
Of course,
maybe
there's no
you
real
could,
answer,
yes,
but I'm
you
just
can have
curious
like
how many
10
followers you
followers.
had. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember, but maybe yes, 200 or 500. But maybe the first sale and then nothing up to then. And also in NFT world, like it exists like two different like collectors, like the ones who really love arts, like in the real world, like I like this frame and I buy it. And in the other hand is like the people who don't like art but say, okay, I will like stay with this piece of art, and maybe in 10 years could the value will increase uh, 10 times, I don't know. So I don't have like this type of collector, like the because my art, I, I, you can love it or not, but I don't know if it could be like a Mona Lisa. I don't know, like
Who
so I
knows?
have
Da Vinci didn't know.
but so I have this group of collectors who loves art and like to contribute to the community. Also, it exists a really good feeling between you buy one of my art and I buy one of yours. Like I have bought a lot of
Ah,
arts, so that is good. Once you start like in that loop, like you buy one of mine, I buy one of yours. It's a really good, but again, it's like a roller coaster. Like maybe you could have in one day 10 sales and for 3 months and nothing. So again, this is not a hobby because I don't like I earn money, but I do it like side shop. I don't know, like it's another thing to have it like there.
yeah, it makes sense. Like every time you make an animation, there are a number of like not super goals, but like, people see it on social media. You get to make another NFT, etc. So like I have not been involved in NFTs whatsoever. Um, but my thinking is like if I were to do NFTs, I would just purely do it for money to try to get money, I guess. But you're saying like there's a community of like I buy your art, you buy my art. Like what is like why like just what's the point of that? Like it's not like you're just trading money back and forth and art back and forth, I guess.
Yes, of course. If I have, I don't know, 10 sales, I don't go into buy 10 pieces, maybe two or three. So I have like more rest. But I don't know. It's like because, for example, if I buy a piece of art you made, maybe you have, I don't know, 10,000 of followers, and you put on your on your Twitter, "Hey, Tomba, collect one of my pieces,"
Ah,
and then it's like, okay, because of that, I can like increase my followers. So it's not like, uh,
interesting. So it's like an entirely different way of like building a community, I guess, and
yes, it's
in a
like
sense.
totally the other way. Yes, it's super. So that's why I like, I don't know, I'm here from 3 4 years, no, 3 years maybe, and it's not that I have thousands of sales. Like some of them, so it's super difficult work. But it is also it's a lot of people like start having anciency. I don't know how to
Agency?
say it. Ancients, yes, like feels like with anxious. Because they don't have sales and they have to, okay, I'm going to tweet this or retweet this or repost this,
Right.
and you have to like be there like 24 hours a day. So it's
That sounds
that's why,
exhausting.
yes.
But
Well,
is it worth it, I guess, like to do all that work to get those sales? Because like I don't know. I mean, my opinion of NFTs is I see them being sold for thousands and thousands of dollars. So I really don't know. I
yeah,
guess.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
So like, what is the so like I guess just to wrap up the NFT chat, like going forward, are you always going to make every animation you do at Tomba an NFT?
But I think so, yes, because if people love it and continue buying, why not?
Yeah,
Like,
okay. Well, yeah, why not? Pays it pays for
uh,
it pays for itself.
yes, again, I'm not going to quit my job because of
Yeah.
this. A lot of people the year before like quit their job because they were winning a lot of money, and if the, as I said, if the roller coaster is in
Right.
this point, like you are ruined, and a lot of people have to again like start working. But so I'm never going to quit 3D animation because I also love it, but it's
Yeah, you
like
need the
my work.
stability. Okay,
Yes, of
last
course.
last NFT question. It's just a technical thing. I see that when somebody buys it, somebody can buy it from them. Do you get any residual money from that, or the person who bought it gets all the money? Are there like
No,
royalties
no.
back to the
Yes.
artist? Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
Once
every time it's traded,
you
you get some trickle down, I guess.
Yes,
Interesting.
once you mint a piece,
Yeah.
mint is like the, yes, you can put the royalties. You can put 10%, 15, 20, whatever you want.
100.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
think the
Interesting.
maximum
Okay,
is
well,
20.
thank you for enlightening me. I'm wondering, okay, so like also back to Tomba. I'm looking at your setup right now. It's on top of a table. You got all the replacement mouths to the side, the replacement eyeballs. You got the light box, the camera. How much did you invest in this hobby? And are you going to you said you're always trying to improve. Are you going to increase the investment in terms of like I don't know, lights, lenses, backgrounds, other characters, like, or is this always going to be like kind of a simple, like straightforward little 5 to 10 second gags?
Well, that's a good question. Of course, I wanted to improve my sets. Uh, like, uh, I improve it because first of all, I only have like my cell phone and
Yeah.
nothing. So I put like I bought a camera. the rigs
rigs,
and
yeah.
all this. Yes, um, and yes, of course, of course I want to continue improving. And about the like the ideas of this 10 second, a lot of people say me like, why you don't make a short like from 5 minutes? The real thing is I don't have time for do that for doing that. Like I only have some time after work, so
Yeah,
uh, I'm happy what I'm doing right now with these 5 seconds.
that's a
So
hobby.
up to now, I'm going to continue. Like also like uh, when I am sleeping or in the middle of the night, I like woke up with an idea and I have to write it quickly or in the cell phone or that because uh, if not, I'm gonna miss it bad.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yes.
also I'm also wondering, you've been doing Tomba for quite a while now. Were there any unexpected surprises that came to you from starting this project? Maybe like professional work or I don't know, things you learned or didn't expect once you started doing this?
Well, the Instagram followers, of course,
Right.
I didn't think that I'm gonna make that. Um, and yes, they appear a lot of like works offers, job offers.
Oh, really?
I only yes, but again, I'm not a professional studio, so I have only this. I don't have more lights, better camera. I don't know.
So what was a job
Maybe
offer that came from this?
I think I posted, but I don't know if I no, I don't. I didn't post it in my Instagram because it was not from Tomba, so I don't want to mix like the post. But I think I put it in a story. It was like a short of two like a cowboys. One was a mustard and another a ketchup, and they make like a fight, like a gun fight, like cowboy fight. It was good and super great doing it, but I don't know. It was a lot of time, invest a lot of time, and I don't know. But it was good, a good
Interesting.
experience.
Interesting. So starting this hobby has led to new opportunities, I guess.
Maybe yes, but as I said you before, I don't like see me like doing this for living.
Fair.
Uh, Again, now I don't know, maybe in 5 years, I don't know, but up to now, I'm doing like I doing 3D for living, and this
Yeah.
like a hobby or for social medias and learning.
Nice. So I guess maybe with 3D, because you do that professionally, do you have any overall goals with that? Like, you studied it, you started in commercial work, then you're in video games, you work online with people around the world. Like that sounds like quite a journey itself. Do you have goals with your professional animation then?
Maybe someday have my own studio. I don't know.
Oh, nice. In Argentina?
Eh, why
Yeah.
not?
Okay, cool, cool. Is there anything we didn't chat about that you'd be interested to share? I mean, like, we talked about, 3D animation, creating Tomba as a hobby, everything that's come out of that. I found the NFT part especially interesting. Um, yeah.
I don't know. I like to play football. Also, it's another hobby.
Yeah, you have to do some
So,
football Tomba. Oh wait, I think you already did one, no?
yes, yes, I've
Yeah,
done one. Yes,
that's hilarious.
yes.
Cool, cool,
But
cool.
no, I think we go through all.
Nice. Do you have any, I guess, final tips with like working with plasticine that, people who are looking into do stop motion and specifically plasticine would need to know? Like even that, I'm looking at your puppet standing up on its feet and it's not melting in the lights, it's not falling over. Like you created like a very good, strong footed base. Any tips for somebody who's looking to work in stop motion and clay?
Uh, one thing that a lot of people ask me is how you like have it those like so smooth.
Yeah.
And what I say is that it's so bad, but it's real. all each frame I take Tomba and I like smooth with my hands each
Really?
frame and I put it again there.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Of course, some things I do it with Photoshop, but almost all is like handmade. Like
Wow.
I try
So you
to do
take
it.
Tomba off each frame and smooth him and put it back.
Yes. Good.
So onion skin is your best friend.
Yes, but also I used
Ugly.
to. I don't know if I have it here. I put like before taking Tomba, I put
Yeah.
like a small clay, ball clay or something in like in front of feet. And once I took it up, it's like so
Yeah.
bad. Of course, then I have to with the onion skin and framing back and forth. I try
Yeah,
to
that's I
do
hate
that.
doing that the most when a character like falls over and I got to put them back in the same frame or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm super impressed. Well, Thomas, it's been an absolute pleasure, chatting and revealing your identity. um, oh no. And I super enjoyed watching your animations. I think they're super fun and interesting, and they came out of nowhere. And somehow, I don't even know how I found it, but maybe it was like one of those like Instagram pages like stop motion that shares like stop motion projects. So I'm happy I did. And yeah, it was interesting to meet you and chat all about this. So I'm really happy we chatted. Thanks for coming on.
Well, again, thank you very much for contacting me, and please continue doing these podcasts that are super great.
Cool, cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, yeah. And if you're listening and you want to follow Tomas or Tomba, I'm going to include his Instagram, his TikTok, and his Twitter, so you can check out all those. They're in the description of this chat. And that's all for now. So thank you so much for listening. Okay, bye. The music for this podcast was composed by Willem Mendo and the graphics by Luhan Wang. I encourage you to look them up if you've enjoyed their work.